Welcome to Spanglish Friends, the podcast for true beginner Spanish learners.
Hola amigas, I'm Val, your co-host and experienced Spanish teacher from Venezuela.
And I'm Em, your Australian co-host who's been learning Spanish for 10 years.
Our goal is simple, to get you confident listening and speaking in beginner Spanish with content you'll actually use in real-life conversations.
Join the Spanish Friends community by subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts and following us on social media at Spanglish_friends. Let's get started.
Comencemos.
Bienvenidos a todos. Welcome to our 8th episode.
Hola Spanglish friends, how are you all?
I'm here with my profe and my co-host, teacher and bestie Val. ¿Cómo estás, Val?
Emi, estoy muy bien. I'm very good. Estoy emocionada por otro episodio. I'm excited for another episode. Woohoo!
Absolutely. And first and foremost, today we want to give a huge shout out to everyone who has been spreading the love about Spanglish Friends and getting involved in the comments. It's honestly been amazing to see people involved from all around the world. We've had people from the USA, Ireland, and Canada. So we want to start this week by doing our first ever official Spanglish Friends shout out of the week.
Yes, each episode we want to call out people getting involved in our Reto, our challenge of the week. Those who are putting the skills they learn each episode into practice and accelerating their Spanish learning.
Absolutely. So for our very first shout out, we want to call out our amiga, Jennifer, who completed our reto in episodio 4 to find a word starting with the letter H, the letter H, and practice pronouncing the silent letter. And Jennifer gave a great example of the word hogar, which is spelt Hogar, which means home. Well done, Jennifer.
Jenny, bien hecho, well done. And thank you for getting involved. Spanglish friends, if you want to be included in a future shout out, make sure to stick around to the end and get involved in this week's challenge. We can't wait to help boost your confidence in your Spanish learning journey.
Muy bien, super good. Now, we teased in our last episode that we would be touching on some more describing words today.
That's right. And we know that adjectives are describing words. They describe a noun, a person, a place, or a thing, like the yellow house, la casa amarilla. In this case, yellow is the adjective.
That's right, those describing words. We learnt last week that the gender of the color needs to match the noun also in Spanish. So, for example, we have to say la casa amarilla instead of la casa amarillo because amarilla is the feminine form of the color yellow.
Plus, we learned that the order of nouns and an adjective in Spanish is different than in English. We say la casa amarilla, which literally translated is the house yellow, rather than the yellow house, like you'd say in English. In Spanish, we flip the order of the noun and the adjective.
And today we want to bring this to life for you Spanglish friends even further, as I know it's a challenging concept to get your head around as a beginner. I certainly felt this way when I started learning Spanish from scratch.
Exactly, that's right, Emmy. So, today, Spanglish friends, we are going to expand your vocabulary by talking about the colors in Spanish and how you can start describing things correctly with the right sentence structure and genders.
Okay, great. So at the end of today's podcast, friends, you're going to be able to do these 3 things. Number 1, you're going to know the names of the basic fundamental colors in Spanish. Number 2, you're going to be able to use that correct order structure of nouns and adjectives in Spanish. Number 3, you're going to find out a secret trick to help you understand when you need to change the color's gender or not.
Love it. So, let's talk about the colors in Spanish. We are going to discuss first the 9 colors today, the basic colors you will need.
Okay, all right. So let's kick it off. What are the basic colors in Spanish, Profe Val?
Okay, Emmy, Let's go, what do you think, through it in the traditional rainbow order. First, we have red. Red in Spanish means rojo, written R-O-J-O, R-O-J-O, rojo.
Love it. That's the color red. Then we have the color orange. Orange. Now, orange is a strange word, which is naranja. Naranja, which is written N-A-R-A-N-J-A. N-A-R-A-N-J-A. Naranja, which is a bit of a tricky one to pronounce.
It might be. And we have now yellow. Amarillo, written A-M-A-R-I-L-L-O. A-M-A-R-I-L-L-O. Amarillo.
Good, and we've recapped that one before, so that's nice and familiar in our memories now. Next, we have the color green, which is nice and simple, verde, verde, written V-E-R-D-E, V-E-R-D-E, verde.
Great. Now we have blue, azul, written A-Z-U-L, A-Z-U-L, azul.
And obviously, following blue, we have the last bit of the rainbow, which is purple, morado, which is written M-O-R-A-D-O. M-O-R-A-D-O. Morado.
The next one is brown, marrón, written M-A-R-R-O-N, M-A-R-R-O-N, marrón.
Okay, and final two colors to go. We have also the color black, which is negro, negro, written N-E-G-R-O, N-E-G-R-O, negro.
Then finally we have white, blanco, written B-L-A-N-C-O, B-L-A-N-C-O, blanco.
All right, Spanglish friends, they are your colors, the basic colors you need to know. But don't worry if you already have forgotten them, because we're going to go over each color with specific examples right now.
Exactly. We want to bring it to life. To do this, we are going to say each color and then a noun with it. To keep things simple, we are going to use the same example, masculine noun and feminine noun throughout. We will use carro, which means car, which is el carro, so we know it's masculine as it ends in O. And we will use casa, which means house. In this case is la casa. So we know it's a feminine word as it ends in a.
That's right. And you'll notice, Spanglish friends, as we go through each color again, some of the adjectives change their endings and some of them don't.
Exactly. And we are going to remember our learning number 2 today, which is the correct order of nouns and adjective in Spanish, as Em mentioned previously. We will always put the noun first, in this case, the thing we're describing, followed by the adjective. In this case, the color, the describing word.
That's right. It's always en reverso, in reverse. So let's put this into practice, Profe Val.
Right. To start, let's start in the rainbow order, right? Red, which is rojo, masculine, or roja, feminine. For example, I can say el carro rojo, which means the red car, or la casa roja, which means the red house.
That's right. So we're changing the O and the A based on the different genders. Okay, the next color, we remember the word for orange, Spanglish friends, naranja. Now, this color doesn't change for masculine or feminine. It keeps the same ending. So, for example here, el carro naranja and la casa naranja. Okay, it keeps the same ending, the orange car and the orange house.
That's a good one. Yes. And with yellow, which is amarillo or amarilla, we know already that it changes from previous examples. So I can say el carro amarillo versus la casa amarilla. Can you see the difference? This in this case would be the yellow car and the yellow house.
Amarillo y amarilla. I got it. And then we've got green, verde, which is another one, another color that doesn't change depending on whether the object is masculine or feminine. So we have el carro verde y la casa verde. The green car and the green house. Both of them we say verde.
Verde. I love that color. Now we have blue. Blue also doesn't change. Azul. So I can say el carro azul and la casa azul. It stays the same, the blue car and the blue house.
And purple, on the other hand, is a color that does change. Morado. Okay, in this example, el carro morado is the purple car versus la casa morada. Okay, I needed to change the ending of morado, the O, for an A, morada, to make it the feminine form.
Now we have brown, which stays the same, marrón. In this case, I can say el carro marrón versus la casa marrón, the brown car and the brown house.
Black is another one of the colors that changes its ending. So you would say el carro negro and la casa negra. Okay, the black car and the black house. They have that different O and A ending.
And finally, we have white. Blanco also changes. El carro blanco versus la casa blanca. Can you see the difference? Carro blanco, casa blanca. The white car versus the white house.
Yes, so I'm sure you're sitting there, Spanglish friends, saying, okay, that's great, Em and Val. You've just taught us a whole bunch of stuff, but what is the trick here? What is the single trick as a beginner learner that I can remember to tell me how do I quickly know if the ending of the color changes or not based on gender? And this brings us to our third and final learning of today's podcast.
Yes. You might have already noticed the farther above, maybe. Basically, the key thing to remember is if the Spanish color ends in O, like morado or blanco, purple or white, for example, it usually changes with gender. But if it ends in any other letter, like an E, an L, etc., like verde, azul, naranja, violeta, it usually stays the same for both masculine and feminine.
So the secret quick memory rule to remember is colors ending in O, they go with the flow, all right? And they change the genders. Colors ending in other stuff stay tough, okay? They don't change no matter whether it's a masculine or feminine noun.
The best tip ever, Emmy. Thank you.
I know, right? I honestly wish I knew this as a beginner. It would have made life so much easier. Okay, so again, colors ending in O, they go with the flow. They change the genders based on the adjective. Colors ending in other stuff, they will stay tough. They do not change.
Simple and amazing. Now we know if we want to remember things, we need to practice putting them into real life context, right? So why don't we have a little conversation using what we've learned today?
Yes, absolutely, about the colors. So let's set the scene for today's mini conversation. Imagine that Profe Val, my friend Val, and I are out shopping again, okay? And we are comparing what we want to buy. Are you ready, Profe Val?
Sí, sí, sí. Comencemos.
Val, ¿te gusta la camisa negra? Está muy de moda.
Hola, Em. Sí, pero me gusta más la camisa verde.
¿En serio? El verde es mi color favorito.
¡Wow! También es mi color favorito.
Ok, obviamente tengo mi decisión.
Buena decisión, Emmy. Cómprala.
How did you go, Spanglish friends? Did you start to pick up on some of the colors and things we were talking about?
Basically, Em and I were first talking about a black top. She asked me, ¿Te gusta la camisa negra? Do you like the black top? She said, está muy de moda. Like, it's very fashionable. Muy de moda.
And then Profe Val replied, yes, but she likes the green top more. So she said, sí, which means yes, pero, which means but, and she said me gusta más, which means I like more. She said, sí, pero me gusta más. Yes, but I like this more. And she said what she liked more was la camisa verde, the green shirt. And she knew that with the color verde, she didn't need to change the ending because colors ending in stuff other than an O, remember the rule, they stay tough. They don't change their ending based on the noun's gender.
Exactly, that's right. And then Em replied, ¿En serio? Which means, really? ¿En serio? And then she said, El verde es mi color favorito. You might have guessed, means green is my favorite color.
And then Val replied, También es mi favorito. También means me too. And mi favorito, obviously, is my favorite. She said, it's my favorite too.
And finally, Em said, Obviamente tengo mi decisión, which is like, well, obviously I have my decision then. Clearly, she was going to buy the green top.
Absolutely. I had made up my mind in that moment. And Val concluded the conversation with, Buena decisión, Emi. And that's like, good decision, Emily. And she said, Cómprala. Cómprala, which was a command. She told me, go buy that thing. Go buy that shirt.
Cómprala. A lot is in that little conversation. But the main thing is that we used the right adjective based on the color and correct sentence structure, putting the noun first and then the adjective. La camisa negra, the black shirt, and la camisa verde.
That's right, Val. And hopefully you're starting to pick up now the names of some of the colors that were spoken about today.
So friends, to recap, here you have the 3 things you should remember from today's episode if you forget absolutely everything else are the noun comes before the adjective. In Spanish, you say the house yellow instead of the yellow house. We say la casa amarilla. Number 2, the adjective must correspond in gender. You need to say la casa amarilla. It's incorrect to say, for example, la casa amarillo, because the house, la casa, is a feminine thing. Number 3 and last one, the quick trick to remember if you need to change the gender of a color is colors ending in O go with the flow. They change genders. Colors ending in other stuff stay tough. You don't change them.
I love that rule so much. Amazing summary, Val. And this brings us, Spanglish friends, to our challenge of the day, our reto of the day. And that is to tell us in the comments, Spanglish friends, what is your favorite colored t-shirt in Spanish or shirt in Spanish? The way you say shirt is camisa. That's if it's like a long shirt, or you can say camiseta, which means t-shirt. So tell us, Spanglish friends, in the comments, what is your favorite colored shirt? For example, your favorite might be la camisa roja, the red shirt, or la camiseta morada, the purple shirt. Okay, comment below putting this structure into practice, the right ordering of the noun first, followed by the adjective with the correct gender adjective. And for a bonus, practice saying it out loud.
Remember, friends, if you get involved, you might even get a shout out in our next episode.
Yes, we can't wait to recognize those who are kicking milestones on their Spanish learning journeys. Now, next episode, episodio 9, episode 9, we are going to go into even more describing words, more adjectives. Spanglish friends, you are going to be able to start expanding your Spanish vocab. For example, you'll be able to say things like the yellow house, but additionally, you'll be able to say the yellow house is big or the red car is small, for example.
That's right. Amazing. Well done, amigos. Well done, friends. Catch you next week. Muchísimas gracias and hasta luego.
Bye, Spanglish friends. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you for listening to Spanglish Friends. We are both so proud of the time you're investing to level up your Spanish listening and speaking skills.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, follow us and give the show a rating wherever you listen to podcasts. Or even better, tell a friend about the show. It's how we can help even more people on their Spanish learning journeys and continue to grow our awesome, supportive community.
Don't forget to check out our socials, including Instagram and TikTok at Spanglish_friends for even more beginner Spanish fun.
Congratulations on taking another step today towards your Spanish learning goals. Ciao, Spanglish amigos. Until next time.
Hasta la próxima, amigos.